topic of this video is as titled. Don't be scared pouring concrete, right? It's fun and it lasts a long time. You know, a lot of people, concrete's heavy, yeah, you know, and you got to hurry up while pouring it. Well, what we're going to do today is just pour a little bit of a slab right here. That way, when I'm rolling my tools in and out of, you know, kind of a garage we have, I'll be able to do it easier. Okay, so what we did, we have an outline right here of kind of where we're wanting this slab. We're going to have it just about up to that 2x4 and then just have it taper down on all sides. And I put a bunch of stone and debris, a bunch of old overpour from, you know, another concrete job. That's going to save us on concrete. We're using 2 bags and we're going to go ahead and pour it. What we're going to do is just pour them into the cement mixer. Now, if you don't have a cement mixer, that's fine. You can use wheelbarrow, whatever. It really doesn't matter. We're going to want to go with a chunkier mix. You don't want to breathe that in either, but we're going to go with a chunkier mix because we're not putting any form boards. So, you know, if it's a little bit thicker of a mix, we'll be able to just float it out with a float that we have, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Ideally, you'd want to put the water in probably first while it's mixing and add it. That way it doesn't clump up, but you know, this is okay too. We're gonna let it mix for a while. The concrete bags we had were old. They've been sitting out for 6 months. So, you know, anyway, let's go ahead and give it a go. You know, a little bit of water right now, give it a second. This is the float we're using. It's a Marshalltown float. It's seen better days, but works just fine. Should be all that we need. Like I said, you know, a wheelbarrow works cool too, or, you know, a 5-gallon bucket even. Doesn't matter. The whole point is just have some fun. We got a little bucket of water here too. We can wash the tools with. And the hose as well. You'd be surprised how little water you actually need as well with concrete. And, you know, you want to be careful not to put too much water because that does affect the structural integrity of it. Not that it's a big deal for what we're doing, but, you know, something you do want to keep in mind. In the event you do put too much water too, it's kind of, you can either add more concrete or just suck it up. If you just sit there and try to let it spin and, you know, kind of reduce the amount of water in there, it'll start to harden and then you won't really get as good a result. See here, a little still, you know, chunky and everything. Might have to tilt the cement mixer forward, but we want it a little bit more than that. Still a bunch of dry stuff in the back that ain't quite getting mixed. Something I do as well, if it's not mixing quite how you want it to, just lift it up forward a minute. Is it looking dry now?
Yeah.
See what we got. Yep. Concrete's probably already ruined because it's been sitting out so long, but there's only one way to find out. Looks like a bunch of cured concrete pellets, more so than a, you know, cohesive concrete mix, but that's all right too. We're getting somewhere now. Okay, so we got it. Let it mix for maybe 5 minutes or something. We got it kind of that way. A little chunky, probably bad concrete. We're gonna throw it down anyway. Bring it right over and then dump it down. Probably a little bit too chunky, but we'll kind of see. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that'll work perfect. Beautiful. You could use a placer, you could use a whole bunch of stuff. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Only problem is kind of guesstimating how much concrete you actually need to, you know, suit your needs. You don't want to float it yet, really, until you have everything where it needs to be, because then you're gonna bring all the what do they call it, cream or whatever, to the top, and then, you know, you'll go and move it down here. Well, now, you know, you're not gonna have a good pour or whatever, so you don't really want to float it too much until you got everything in place. And that's kind of what I'm doing, but I'm trying not to. Don't be scared pouring concrete, though. It's fun. It's a good time. It does set quick, but, you know, that's okay, really. That's no big deal. Okay, so that's pretty darn good. That's about where we want it. It's going to be really thin on the edges, and that is a problem. Honestly, that is a problem. But, you know, you can always add more later if you want, or whatever. Now when I'm rolling, you know, tools up, you know, and such, it'll actually roll up here and not, you know, not have to sit there like a welder or whatever, you know, rolling tools in and out, or a toolbox even, if you have one of those. Now I'm gonna start floating it and kind of making it smooth. Working all of the aggregate back into the concrete, and letting what's left come up to the top so it's a little bit smooth. People do broom finishes and things like that, but it's, you know, you can go as crazy as you want, or as simple as you want. Come here. It wouldn't be a concrete pour if you didn't get a little dog footprint in there or something. This concrete's probably bad, but it'll work just fine. I really need some more right here, right? And, you know, all the concrete experts would probably advise against you getting your hands in there or your dog's paws or whatever, but what we'll do, we didn't quite make it to our rim. We did all the way to here. We're a little bit short right here, but you know, even then, that's fine. Just sit there and you can smack the sides of it, and it's going to dry really fast because we didn't wet the ground prior, or we didn't use any underlayment, but that's not a big deal either. Worst case, just hit it with a sledgehammer twice, take the pieces and go, you know, throw them somewhere else, right? No big deal. That's pretty dang good, though, I would imagine. That'll work just fine. Maybe I can kind of move this a little bit more this way. Got to work it into all that, work it all into, you know, we put all the stones down there. Well, we got to make sure that, you know, it sinks down as deep as we can into that. But that's pretty good. We're going to let it dry, and then we'll go ahead and show you the results. I'm going to work it just for a couple more minutes here. Well, figured this is going to be some bonus footage. Just poured this, and you can see there's large, already cured chunks in this. We'll try to stuff that somewhere. Maybe right there. Doesn't really matter. We're going to float this out. This is a lot thinner, but I figured this would be a good opportunity to show you how to also get like a, I believe they call it an aggregate exposed finish. So what we'll do is float this out kind of the same way as last time. There was already a slab here before, but it was way lower than this little shed, right? This is 4 bags rather than 2. We got a lot more to work with, but it would be nice having the ability to roll stuff in here as well, you know, when it rains or whatever, putting tools away. So go ahead and float this out to the best of our ability. And after that, people use sugar water and things like that, but what we're going to do is just wait a little while, let it cure, and then just spray it with a hose and try to expose the aggregate. And, you know, it looks pretty. It makes it look old and fun. Okay, so the concrete really ain't where it needs to be. You can see it's still got plenty of give, but I'm going to go ahead and spray it with some water and see what happens. The goal, I would imagine, is just to get enough of that top layer of cream off it where you're able to expose the aggregate. And there you go. We'll let it dry like that. All that cream is probably too wet to really cure properly. It's going to probably cure as powder. And then after it's fully dry, we'll be able to just hose it off completely and then see what happens. So it's been about 24 hours. We're going to go ahead and spray it off, get rid of all the loose, rocks and everything else, and see how it turned out. I don't know if that's going to come off. Oh yeah, I guess it will if you were to broom it. That looks like it's still pretty loose on there. Maybe a little too loose. Okay, so we're going ahead and just giving it a bit of a scrub here with our feet. I don't know if it has to do with spraying it with water or something more to do with the fact that the concrete was a really old bag, but pretty loose on the top. I'm just going to spray it off here and kind of see what we're looking like. Yeah, it does look like it's getting harder down a little bit lower there on the surface. And there you have it. Not too dang shabby. Okay, so it's been a couple months. I don't even know how long it's been since I poured this. It's doing fine. Can walk on it. Everything's privy. And this one as well. Doing fine, right? It hardened up really nice. There's still some loose crap because, whatever. But, yeah. Can walk on in. You can walk on out. Don't be scared of pouring concrete. It's fun. Just have yourself a good time. Sledgehammer will, I mean, if you're pouring something big, obviously. If you're not, no big deal. Thanks for watching.